Hey everybody, Jack here with your IndiePRO HotSeat Q&A question of the day. We have a great question today from Geneviève, and I'm going to share this and hopefully provide some clarity to you, Geneviève. I hope this is helpful. Geneviève said, "Hello there. I know the Build Your Perfect Artist website course isn't ready yet, and I can't wait to take it. Meanwhile, since I'm eager to get started with my website anyway, I was wondering which platform you'd suggest to have an artist website built on. Knowing that you guys at IndiePRO have an affection for Drip as a mailing list provider, I was looking for something that could integrate easily with it, with Zapier, I believe. That's why I was considering Squarespace or alternatively WordPress. I also know I'll eventually need a shop, and although I have no idea how it'll work yet, I nevertheless want to plan my website with that in mind. So, what would be your pick? Thanks a million for your answer and for being so awesome." Hey, thank you for being so awesome, Geneviève, and great question. Let's dive into it. So, Squarespace and WordPress are great options for websites. However, with regard to your question about their integrations with Drip, what's cool about Drip is inside Drip, you can build forms that you can embed on any kind of website. So inside of Drip, you could actually build an opt-in form where you collect people's name, email address, phone number if you wanted to, really any information that you might want to grab and add onto your list. You can build that form inside of Drip and then embed it onto your website with code, with custom code. So you would have a code block on your website on the page that you're building, and you'd install the form right there. So what's cool about that is it makes it really easy to get opt-ins from your website into Drip because the form is actually built right into Drip, which makes it really, really easy. So if you were using something like Squarespace's native forms that are inside of their website builder, the form contact form builder, that is where you would use something like Zapier to then send the subscriber over to Drip. And the same sort of thing applies with WordPress. You could build a form inside of Drip and embed it onto a page inside of your WordPress page builder, and you would be all good to go. If you used a different type of contact form builder inside of WordPress, you would have to look into sending that via Zapier over to Drip. So hopefully that sort of answers the question about the website functionality. A lot of the integration concerns are solved by Drip's native forms that you can build right within it. So that's part number one. Number two, with regards to your store and the questions that you have. Now, here's where some weighing out of options comes into play in my mind. Drip has a number of different native integrations with e-commerce solutions, and I'm actually going to share my screen here and show them to you. So we're over on the Drip website here, drip.com/integrations, and you can see their e-commerce integrations right on this page. There's a ton of them. But the main few that you might be concerned about when it comes to building your website and your store might be Shopify and might be WooCommerce. Now, if you're building a WordPress website, you could build a WooCommerce store right within your WordPress site and then use the WooCommerce Drip plugin to integrate the two, and all of your customer data, your LTV data, as in the purchase history, would all be synced from WooCommerce over to Drip. And that's if you're building a store directly inside of your WordPress site. Now, let's say you decide you don't want to use WooCommerce, and maybe you decide to build a store inside of Shopify. What's cool about that is Shopify and Drip are also natively integrated, so all of the data from your Shopify store can very easily be synced up with Drip with no extra work through Zapier or anything like that. So what you might do in that case, whether your store is on Squarespace or your store is on WordPress, you would build your store separately inside of Shopify, and then you would have a button in your navigation or on your site somewhere that would then send someone out to a dedicated site on Shopify, which is pretty cool. Just an easy, sort of move to get people from one place to another. So if your storefront was in Shopify, that's how you would send them there from your Squarespace site or your WordPress site or wherever you decide to build your site. And that would ensure that all of your data is synced up to Drip. Additionally, what you can do inside of Shopify is actually you can build what's called buy buttons. And buy buttons work similar to what we mentioned about Drip having embeddable forms. Buy buttons almost act like an embeddable product that you can build into your website. So you would, let's say you had a collection of t-shirts. You could set up a buy button for that product collection. All of those products, you would have buy buttons for them, and then you could embed them onto a page on your website. So whether that's in Squarespace, you could have it there. Whether that's in WordPress, you could have it there. And then when people click, they're actually brought into the Shopify ecosystem to complete checkout. So pretty cool. So where this all kind of ends up is it doesn't matter all that much which solution you choose. Because to be honest, the options as far as your e-commerce provider here between WooCommerce and Shopify, both of those kind of solve any of the integration issues that you might come across when it comes to e-commerce. And Drip's native forms that are built inside of Drip kind of solve all of the problems when it comes to potential problems or hiccups when it comes to opt-in integrations. You could certainly use Zapier as a middle ground if you decide you didn't want to use Drip forms, but that kind of solve the problem for you. So all that to say, building a WordPress site does take a little bit more legwork in terms of setup. However, it is definitely a very affordable solution and highly, highly customizable, which is great. Squarespace, on the other hand, is a bit more out of the box, and you can do a lot of quick work with it just to get something up and running. One thing I do want to note is that Squarespace's commerce and Drip don't sync up and play nicely that well together. So I would say just right out the gate, something that you will want to keep in mind is where you might want to host your e-commerce solution down the line, whether it's Shopify or WooCommerce. You could also consider a cart solution like ThriveCart, which also syncs up with Drip. You can see ThriveCart here. So all of that hopefully covers the question well for you. I hope that helps, Geneviève, and we're looking forward to seeing a beautiful website that you put together. Best of luck, and let us know if you have any more questions. Feel free to drop them in the group or hang out with us at a future session. See you soon.